Yo, what is good, guys? An important video here. I got a lot of information to talk to you guys about today, so I really encourage you to watch this whole thing through. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe so you always know what's coming next, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So, to start off, today we had Walmart earnings, and it did not go very well. We got rejected at a pretty key trend line here, as you can see on the daily, and we dropped pretty hard in after hours, and this reflected on Amazon and Target as well. So we got that big drop. This is bad because this shows that inflation is still running strong here. It shows that consumers or retail, they are not spending as much on electronics and just non-necessities, and rather they're spending it on necessities like food. So this is not bad. It gives you a pretty bad outlook on how consumer sentiment is in the markets and how confident they are to spend their money. So you can see it reflected on Amazon, Target as well, and that's why SPY did some dropping in after hours here. So just something to note. We're really going to be talking about SPY today because I have a lot of important information to show you guys on the charts. So I really encourage you to watch this whole thing through, or at least watch the segment that I'm going to do on SPY. So first, I'm going to talk about the VIX, which we talked about yesterday, looking for a breakout. We got some green today. We're going to talk about biotech, semiconductors, and SPY. So we're just going to hop right into it. We're going to talk about VIX. So today, we got that green day. This is a very sloppy trend line here, but it has a lot of kind of connections with wicks here and opens and closes of candles. So I would like to see a little more green to be able to call this a breakout, but we did get a decent candle to the upside, as well as this candle, which goes through a lot of stuff but has a lot of reactions, and we were reacting around that trend line as well today. So that's just something to keep watching for the VIX. If this keeps going higher, you're going to see fear and increased volatility in the market. So that's something to keep on watch. We're going to talk about biotech. So today, in yesterday's video, I was saying watch the trend line because in this region, this really seems to be like the last support, and we wicked under it today, but we managed to close above it. So tomorrow is a big day to watch to see if it holds that trend line or falls through it. But we could be getting a bounce. I do think I may close some of my short positions because, as you'll see, I'll explain. I think we might have a little more upside in the markets before going to those new lows. So it is a little contradicting with my previous videos, but as a trader, you have to be able to know how to switch your bias in an instant and kind of reconsider all the variables so that your bias doesn't destroy you if it's going the wrong way. So I do think we will be going lower very soon, very shortly, but I have to stress the importance of what I've found of the bullish scenario, the bullish case before going lower. So that's really what this video is going to be about. I'm still green on all of my positions and might be taking profits on those so that I can enter lower in the case that everything goes higher. I'll explain it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So for biotech, you're really just watching this level here on lab D. You got rejected at a pretty big area here. A lot of reactions. The wicks, the closes, opens. So that's where we got rejected at today. We caught this big move. Me and the Discord, we bought, I think, under 23. I'm pretty sure we got in under 23 here. So we've made a lot of money on this run up. We bought in here, sold here, bought back in here, and we were sitting very green on that position. So that's it for biotech. I'm going to talk about our semiconductors because we were very green on this. We sniped the bottoms and top on this. We went long right here, right before the bill got passed. It kept going. We got to my target. We shorted here after a gap filled and hit that fib target that I was looking for. And we shorted here, which we did on the inverse ETF SOXL, or SOXS. And I'll show you. We'll zoom in a little. It's at a pretty big spot here. Give me a second. So, yeah. So as you can see, this is my Elliott wave count right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am not really sure what it's trying to do here. So this is a big spot today. We broke kind of a crucial trend line here. I'm going to zoom in even closer. So as you can see, we are underneath this right now, and right now I am long on this. I went long all the way down here at 52.60, so I am very green right now, but it's coming down a little, so there's a chance it comes down lower. We fill this gap, but we're sitting on top of the gap, so maybe it holds. This also has a lot to do with how the overall market is going to move. So tomorrow, day after, again, we're really going to want to be watching. So these next few days, I think more important than anything else is to just watch how the overall market moves. Right now, you're having bad earnings. As you've seen with Walmart, you have FOMC coming up, GDP's coming out, so a lot of volatility is occurring right now, and it doesn't hurt to just sit it out and wait and see how all of it plays out. So next few days are very important in my opinion. So semiconductors, you might be getting that last wave down before going higher, or I'm going to show you stocks, SOXX. It's really just holding a lot of these trend lines, and you're just going to have to see how it reacts with these trend lines that it's on, as well as this gap. So that's really it for the semiconductors, and most importantly, we're going to talk about SPY. So this is the segment I really encourage you to watch this whole thing through, because I'm going to show you indicators, these trend lines, and just what to watch and to expect. So on to SPY now. This is the channel I've been watching. Right now, this is what we're trading in. I've been looking for that pullback. I called out the top on this one where we hit that trend line, and right now, I'm really looking to see how it does with these gaps that we're near. So this gap and this gap are by far the most important things to be watching right now, because as I stated in my previous video, SPY likes to do these fake gap fills. We went into this gap, did a fake out, got rejected at this trend line, as well as some of these other ones, which I can just put up, but we got rejected at the top of this channel, and right now we're sitting on this one, which I believe I pointed out in yesterday's video. If I did not, here it is. This is a pretty big one to be watching. I'm going to put up all these trend lines that I'm looking at right now, because all of these are relevant. So might look like a little too much, but we're just going to look at all these individually. So this trend line from the lows, it has a lot of reactions here, and that's what we bounced off of yesterday. We went through it today, but we got caught at this trend line right here. So you can see a lot of reactions, it gaps through it. That's where we bounced off today. So we're sitting at a very big spot here, and it's going to give you an outlook for what the entire market will do. You're sitting at right underneath this gap. So we broke this trend line kind of. So I think this is actually a big one to be watching, because we could move up to this and get rejected at it. So I'm going to take all of these off, because I think this is a very important trend line to watch right now. So we could move up to it and you get rejected off of it, and we did break it. So this is a trend line to be watching right now. And right now I want to move on to all of these indicators I am watching, because all of these show you kind of the momentum and the strength and the direction of the market, which trend lines cannot really do. They can show you important levels and what the next level is to go to, but what I'm going to show you right now is just different things you'll see. So a lot of complicated stuff that a lot of people don't use, but will really show you the tops and bottoms, and I'll explain all of these as we go through them. So might look like a little much, but I promise you, stick with me here so I can explain to you, and you can be able to understand this and use it on your own. So we're going to start off with, I have a list of all the stuff I want to show you guys. So 15-minute, actually, we're going to go back to the chart quick. So the scan fan I had, same with this line. I showed this in one of my earlier videos, where it's not necessarily horizontal supports and resistances, but rather has to do a lot with geometrical proportions and how traders like to see satisfaction to the human eye with symmetry within the charts. So and that has to do a lot with how I trade, what I trade off of, Elliott wave theory, and what am I looking for? So the Gann fan, you draw from a low to a low, and it gives you these trend lines that are very obviously being respected and traded off of. So, right, you got rejected off of this, and you have this scan fan from way back here, and yeah, it's not, yeah, there it is. So, you're at a very, very interesting spot here, and I'm going to show you this area. It's this area right here. You have all these trend lines in this area, a big breakout spot. Whichever way this thing's going to go, it's going to be very explosive. So I'm going to show you all these indicators. I want to keep this video as short as possible, so I'm just going to go through this stuff as quickly as I can while thoroughly explaining it. So I'm going to take this off, the GAN fan, and these gaps I don't think we really need. So time for the indicators. So you got the ADX, MACD, RSI, ADX combined with on-balance volume, and all of these things are very relevant. I'm also going to put up the Keltner channel, and we can take a quick look at the pivot points. I'm just going to take a look. I have not looked at these recently, so yeah, we got rejected off of the pivot point. So interesting spot here. You know, you break this, you move up to the next pivot. So something to note, you're sitting at a pivot point. But for the indicators right now, we're going to take a look at these on multiple time frames, starting with the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we have divergences on the MACD. Right here, as you can see, the MACD is moving lower, it crossed over, while the price actually went higher, maintained higher lows. So you got the MACD moving down, while the price has been making higher lows. So that's called a bearish divergence. Momentum is slowing, going down, while price is still going up. And ADX, while it's underneath this purple dashed line, signals that it's not in a trend, but rather an accumulation or distribution phase, and just in a state of volatility. So that is another big thing to note. On balance volume is also indicating a lot of bearish signals here, which you can see on the longer time frames. The 2 hour, you can see a lot of that. ADX went under 20, so it's out of a confirmed trend for the time being on the 2 hour. The 4 hour starting to slow down. There's not really any signals here. ADX is pretty low, so within the next few days, it's really, I think, just going to start developing kind of a direction. I think you're going to either see, you know, kind of a topping curve, or yeah, really I'm telling you, these next few days are just days to be watching what the charts are doing. So yeah, the 1 day, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, this is still not showing any signs of turning yet, although it is at a point where it should be exhausting, and you know, you get a pullback, regardless if it goes higher or lower. You showing signs of slowing, but you don't see it on the daily yet, just the hourly. So you need more days to play out to be able to see where this will stop going lower, where it's going to top out, where it's going to find support. So the next few days, again, are just days to be watching how all of this plays out. So I really showed you most of what I wanted to show you. Let me just go back to the shorter time frames. Yeah, divergences, RSI at the moving averages. So you're sitting on the 50-day moving average on the 30-minute. So let me close in on that a little right here. So yes, big spot here on the 30-minute. You got that 50-day moving average. So you get rejected off of this, you could get a pretty steep move down to those trend lines I pointed out 2 videos ago, I believe, on my Sunday's video, where you got the support right here. You can move down to this, the lower 380s, before possibly moving higher, because this gap is not filled yet. And I also think there actually may be a chance you get all the way back up into this zone where we were consolidating before that big drop down, which I told you was coming. And I told you where we would probably go, right down to this trend line. And that's where I bought, right on that trend line at 365. So it's a big spot to be watching. You got a lot of resistances, a lot of trend lines. All the indicators are showing some bearish strength, or bearish signals, but the trend lines, in my opinion, are what would keep holding everything up. So you got bad news, momentum strength slowing down, earnings have been not the greatest so far. You still got more coming up. FOMC meeting, GDP numbers. So, telling you again, right now I think is just a good time to watch and not necessarily trying to be betting on a trend because it is not exactly clear yet. So, I think we could be looking at a pullback before filling that gap and then going lower. But it's a very interesting area, and these next few days are just days to be watching the charts. So, I'm also watching oil. I think I do want to go long on this because I think we can get a big move to the upside. As you know, if you've been following, we've played this whole thing down. We shorted up here, sold it again here and here, sold here, and now I'm just waiting. So, a lot of things just to be watching right now. It does not hurt to just sit on the side and wait for the opportunities to come to you rather than trying to force them. So, if you are not already in positions and up on them, I am all in on short positions right now, but I think I will be considering closing them if I don't see the kind of moves I want to see in the following days. But yeah, that's really all I have for this video. If you watched the whole thing through, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you always know what's coming next. And if you are interested in the Discord, that will be in the description below, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, that's it for this video. So peace out, guys.